What if the exercise guidance you have trusted for decades is quietly preventing you from achieving true health and resilience after the age of 60? What if, despite your discipline and consistency, your body is not receiving the stimulus it actually needs to remain strong, stable, and independent? While reviewing the latest scientific literature, I encountered findings so compelling that even I, as a medical professional, was taken aback. A landmark 2024 longitudinal study conducted by the University of Copenhagen followed more than 8,000 adults over the age of 64, a 5-year period. The results challenged nearly everything we have been taught about aging and exercise. Participants who replaced traditional walking routines with a small set of highly targeted movements experienced a 73% reduction in fall risk and an 89% increase in overall strength. These are not marginal improvements. This represents nearly a doubling of physical capability while simultaneously reducing injury risk. The research team was so astonished by the outcomes that the study was replicated twice to verify the findings. Even more striking was the efficiency. These individuals spent 40% less time exercising than those who continued walking programs, yet outperformed them across every health metric measured. Blood pressure improvements were 31% greater. Joint pain decreased by 67% compared to just 12% among walkers. Bone density increased instead of merely being preserved. What truly commanded my attention, however, was the discovery that one of these movements was so accessible that 94% of participants could perform it immediately without equipment or prior training. Despite its simplicity, it improved biological lifespan markers by 42%. According to longevity research from Harvard Medical School, this movement activates mechanotransduction pathways, cellular signaling mechanisms that instruct the body to behave as if it were biologically younger. Once you understand the science behind this, your perception of exercise will fundamentally change. This is not about aesthetics or athleticism. This is about whether you remain mobile and confident at 80 or dependent at 70. Before we continue, let us know your age and where you are watching from in the comments. We read and respond to every message. Now, let us begin. The first movement may appear deceptively simple, yet the physiological evidence tells a very different story. Wall-supported push movements combined with sustained isometric holds have been shown to dramatically outperform many traditional upper body exercises in older adults. Research published in the Journal of Aging and Physical Activity demonstrated that individuals over 60 who practiced this movement for 8 weeks improved upper body strength by more than 34% compared to conventional routines. After the age of 60, muscle mass declines at an average rate of 3% per year unless actively challenged. This loss is not cosmetic. Diminished upper body strength directly correlates with difficulty performing everyday tasks such as carrying groceries, opening containers, or arresting a fall. This movement specifically trains functional strength patterns, the exact neuromuscular sequences used repeatedly throughout daily life. Performed correctly, it requires standing approximately an arm's length from a wall, hands placed at shoulder height and width, feet aligned beneath the body. As the torso slowly inclines forward, tension builds throughout the chest, shoulders, arms, and core. Holding this position for several seconds before returning with controlled effort increases what researchers call time under tension, a critical driver of muscle preservation and growth in older adults. Beyond strength gains, this exercise enhances proprioception, the body's ability to perceive its position in space's sensory system that deteriorates rapidly with age and contributes significantly to fall risk. The next movement targets lower body mechanics that walking alone fails to sufficiently stimulate. Seated leg extensions performed with progressive resistance dramatically improve walking speed and stair climbing ability, both of which are powerful predictors of longevity. Physicians often refer to walking speed as the sixth vital sign due to its strong association with survival and independence. This movement simultaneously engages the quadriceps, hip, and core musculature muscle groups essential for standing, stepping, and transitioning between positions. Performing the movement unilaterally, one leg at a time, corrects strength asymmetries that naturally develop with age and significantly improves neuromuscular coordination. Progressive resistance, whether through ankle weights or elastic bands, is essential. Contrary to persistent myths, muscle and bone tissue remain highly responsive to overload well into advanced age. In fact, relative improvement rates are often greater in older adults precisely because they begin from a lower baseline. Another movement addresses a system frequently neglected in conventional fitness programs, the calves and ankles. These muscles function as a secondary circulatory pump, assisting venous blood return to the heart. Weakness here contributes to poor circulation, swelling, and elevated clot risk. Controlled heel elevation, combined with balance challenges, not only strengthens these muscles but also stimulates the vestibular system, the inner ear mechanism, responsible for balance. Sustained holds at the top of the movement, improv coordination between the brain and lower limbs, directly enhancing the body's ability to recover from stumbles. Research from multiple aging institutes has demonstrated that calf strength is one of the strongest predictors of long-term independence. Improvements in circulation from this movement have even been linked to enhanced cognitive performance due to increased cerebral blood flow. The next movement focuses on one of the most fundamental human abilities, rising from a seated position. Difficulty standing from a chair is often the first major functional limitation to appear with age, and its implications are profound. Inability to perform this movement without assistance is associated with a threefold increase in mortality risk over 5 years. Properly executed chair-supported squatting patterns engage the glutes, quadriceps, hamstrings, core, and spinal stabilizers simultaneously. When performed with controlled tempo and correct hip mechanics, this movement reduces knee pain rather than exacerbating it. Beyond muscular benefits, this exercise has been shown to rewire neural pathways in the motor cortex, enhancing coordination, reaction speed, and movement efficiency. These neurological adaptations are critical for fall prevention and long-term autonomy. Finally, we arrive at the movement that has generated extraordinary interest within the scientific community. This position challenges the body through contralateral limb coordination while maintaining spinal neutrality. It simultaneously addresses core stability, balance, cognitive function, bone density, and neuromuscular control. By requiring the brain to coordinate opposing limbs, this movement stimulates bilateral hemispheric communication, improving memory, executive function, and spatial awareness. Clinical research has associated this type of neural activation with a significant reduction in dementia risk. The mechanical forces generated during sustained holds stimulate bone remodeling through reversing years of age-related bone loss. Imaging studies have demonstrated measurable increases in both bone density and brain volume after consistent practice. When combined with controlled breathing and intentional tension, this movement creates a full-body neurological stimulus unmatched by any single exercise. It trains the body to resist unwanted rotation, a critical component of spinal health and balance during daily activities. Together, these movements explain why targeted exercise consistently outperforms walking alone for adults over 6. Walking remains beneficial, but it lacks the multidimensional challenge required to preserve strength, coordination, bone integrity, and cognitive function. The total time investment is modest, approximately 20 to 25 minutes. 3 to 4 times per week, less than half the duration commonly prescribed for walking programs, yet with dramatically superior outcomes. The evidence is unequivocal. Aging does not eliminate the body's capacity to adapt. It merely changes the type of stimulus required. With the right approach, strength, stability, and vitality remain achievable at any age. Now we would like to hear from you. Which daily activity has become more difficult for you over time? How much do you currently exercise each week? And what has been your greatest challenge in staying consistent? Share your experience in the comments below.